You are listening to the Build Your Network podcast.
If you're tired of the old way of networking, the business cards, the awkward conversations, and the aggressive pitches, but you know how crucial your network is to your success in life, then you're in the right place. Welcome to Build Your Network, the only top-rated show committed to helping you master content networking, foster real relationships, increase your authority, and build the network of your dreams. Listen in on conversations with world-class entrepreneurs, authors, thought leaders, and more as we deconstruct their best strategies for your success. So get ready to burn your business cards, ditch the name tag, and discover the new way to network with your host, Travis Chappell.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Build Your Network podcast. JJ, thanks for joining us on today's show.
What's up, man? We're both in Vegas right now.
Yeah,
you know,
virtual, but almost in person.
Virtual in person. I'm at the Wynn. I feel like I'm in some Dubai Arabic hotel, maybe because I've got the Arab beard right now. And, you know, it's 10 a.m. Let's roll.
Let's do it. Well, first of all, give me some context, because reading through your bio, it's pretty interesting that you started your career kind of in the content space. But talk to me a little bit about being a magician. How did that kind of end up on the radar? How did you decide to follow that path?
Dude, 16 years ago, I wanted to do two things. I'm from Sydney, Australia. I wanted to stand on stage. I wanted to tell everybody who I am and what I do. And I started my career as a magician. You know, I was the kid that learned it longer. You know, at the end of the day, the difference between you and me doing magic is I just learned it longer. Like the next kid learns piano, the next kid plays with gadgets, you know? So that was what took me all around the world. I met cultures. I worked with big clients. I made cash. I worked in many different countries. And that was the catalyst and the sort of the first in to understand everything that I'm doing today, from personal branding to digital marketing, to speaking, to selling, to promoting you, to realizing marketing is more important than talent. You know, marketing is more important than skills, you know? Yeah. And now in 2022, I'm in this lane now, which I love, where I really help people who are experts in their own way. Mm-hmm. You know, they've got a high amount of skill, but they struggle of getting people to know them, getting people to listen to them, getting people to pay them a lot of money. Yeah. So now my job is to build that and help them do that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the landscape has changed throughout your career as far as what marketing looks like. You know, now we're talking about the metaverse, you know, and a couple of years ago, if you would have said, you know, I want to be a Facebook ads person, you know, you'd be like, that role doesn't even exist. What are you talking about? Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about how the landscape of personal branding was when you started your career versus how it's evolved, you know, in the past couple of years.
Well, I'll tell you what wasn't around: the word personal branding. There was no such thing as personal branding. You know, when I was an entertainer, our job was always to self-promote. I never had an agent. I didn't have like a big cool manager, you know, so it was just a lot of knocking on doors like, hey, this is what I do. I'm the best. Here's my business card. Here's my HTML website that I paid some guy to do that I got probably overpriced on. So,
and that's not what you do now?
that I charge people overpriced websites. No, I don't do that, but, you know, no. So, but I really understood throughout the journey of me doing magic. And here's the other thing too. I wasn't just doing magic. I was speaking. I worked on TV. I ran a nightclub, and I realized people aren't buying the product. They're buying you. You know, I would get booked for big shows here in Vegas, and I wasn't the best magician, but I was the magician who could connect, who was likable, who they could feel like, oh, this person makes me feel special. I remember him. Mm-hmm. So now that I'm very present in this in 2022, I'm like, oh, all those times throughout the last 17 years of traveling to 30 countries, I'm like, oh, that made sense why I got that opportunity now. I wasn't present to it, you know? Yeah. And so personal branding, selling you and not the product, has been, as my opinion, super powerful because, you know, these could not be cool anymore in 2 years. Let's say someone goes, these all give you cancer. Now no one wears them anymore. But you know what doesn't die? You, your content, your character. Like you're not gonna die. So this is so much easier to sell than this, in my opinion. And humans buy from humans. They don't buy from Apple. They buy from a human.
Yeah. Well, let me ask about that then, because I think a lot of people have that imposter syndrome, right? Like, I'm not the best magician. I'm not the best salesperson. I'm not the best branding expert. I'm not the best podcaster. And they allow that to basically tell themselves a no. They don't even bother asking somebody. Yeah. And if they do, it's very timid and, you know, can you please help me sort of request. How do you kind of audit yourself to see where you can bring value and where you can stand out, even if you're not the best in your field, which unless you're one of the names that we read about in, on the cover of Forbes, you're probably not the best in your field. So how do you find a way to add value to a relationship?
Well, to pause on that question, the best in the field is what Forbes says. That's like labels, it's like it's value. Like they're not the best in their field. They're the ones that are most seen, but you know what I mean? So yeah. I think the big thing with personal branding, and I know a lot of people here have skill sets, and as you said before our call, like how do I get people to listen to me and connect with me and learn from me and then to see me as someone valuable? I think the biggest thing at the beginning is your mindset. And I know people must be rolling their eyes, we've heard all the mindset tricks, but think about this. I work with a lot of people, and when you work with me one-to-one, the first 2 weeks is, I call it bring out the demons, bring out the fears. And the number one fear that people say to me is they say, I'm an introvert, or the label, I'm an introvert and I'm shy. And you know what I do is I tell them this: who told you that? And I let that pin drop and they go this: I told myself that. And I said, so what else do you think you're telling yourself every day? I'm not worth it. I'm not on Forbes. No one will listen to me. I don't have a pocket square. I'm not handsome. I'm not pretty. I don't have 1 million followers verified. Or you're blocking the world out because you're telling, I don't. How about I am? So I think the big thing is, the first thing we got to watch what we're saying, because you attract what you tell the world.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So I think that's the first element. And then I think the second element with that is, I always tell people, you deserve to tell your story. People listening right now, you're good at what you do. If someone pays you money, you can do a good job and deliver. Right? So why don't you tell more people about that? Like, who gives you the right to tell the world you're not good enough? Yeah. And don't you hate it, man, when you see someone on TV or on the media or someone in your space, you're like, that guy's an idiot. Have you ever had that feeling? Like,
right. Yeah.
That guy's
daily.
terrible. Yeah. That he doesn't even know what he's talking about. But then I realized, as the PR mind, you know what he's done? His talent was low, but his marketing was good. Why don't skillful, talented people do the same?
Yep.
So imagine if you have skill, talent, and marketing. Shit, man, you are on fire.
Yeah.
They can't break you,
This episode of the Build Your Network podcast will be back in just a moment, but first, I want to tell you about our sponsor, Indeed. If you're hiring, you need Indeed, because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Indeed is the only job site where you're guaranteed to find quality applications that meet your must-have requirements, or else you don't pay. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites hoping to find candidates with the right skills, you need one powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. Indeed partners with you on every step of the hiring process. Find great talent through time-saving tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. With Instant Match, as soon as you sponsor a post, you get a short list of quality candidates with resumes on Indeed that match your job descriptions, and you can invite them to apply right away. Plus, you only pay for quality applications that meet your must-have requirements. I personally love Indeed. It makes it easy to hire great talent, and according to ComScore, Indeed is the #1 job site worldwide. That's right, worldwide. So start hiring right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/network. The offer is valid through March 31st. So what are you waiting for? Go to Indeed.com/network and claim $75 in free credit before March 31st. That's Indeed.com/network. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. This episode of the Build Your Network podcast is brought to you by Gusto, the all-in-one HR for growing businesses. You can get everything you need to hire, pay, manage, and support your hardworking team in one intuitive platform. You can automatically file and pay all state, local, and federal payroll taxes, do simple time tracking, time off requests, and more, and have access to a wide range of health and financial benefits, and direct access to certified HR experts. That's just a few of the amazing tools that you get with Gusto. And right now, you can get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. All you have to do is use the URL gusto.com/Travis. That's GUSTO.com/Travis. All right, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, I talk about that all the time with people, because there's a big trend when you see someone go viral, or you see someone who's a huge influencer, and people just go, oh, they're stupid and they're this. And I've always argued, like, there's nobody who is on the cover of magazines or on television or has a reality show that doesn't deserve it. I'm not saying that everyone has a really valuable insight to offer, because there's people who truly don't have a lot of advice or a lot going on. But they deserve in the sense of they put the marketing cap on, they found a way to make the connections, they found a way to make it happen. And I think that mindset shift's really, really important. I want to ask this question. We ask everybody that comes on the show, do you think that who you know or what you know is more important? Because obviously, when you're branding and you're doing things, you can do some of that on your own, but how important are relationships in kind of developing that brand?
Yeah, well, they said it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Yeah.
Let's even change that up. And I even said this to a client yesterday. You could have all the numbers on your phone. You can scroll, oh, Justin Bieber, oh, Kim Kardashian, oh, Elon Musk. Having Elon Musk's phone number is not cool. You know what's cool? You call him and he picks up.
Right. Yeah.
Let that sit in for a second. I have a lot of contacts on my phone. I have a lot of people that, I could probably call. But the biggest thing for me, which I love, is if I call someone and obviously they pick up or they call me back. Oh, I'm value to them. Mm-hmm. I'm value to them.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, I think it's about who appreciates you, who respects you, who trusts you. I talk about that a lot online. Trust is the biggest problem, man.
Yeah.
Dude, you can put a filter on Instagram, you can buy followers, you can, rent a Lambo, you can rent a car. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but it just shows you how easy it is to get in front of people. But it's trust.
Yeah.
People are scared to invest their time and money with someone because they've been burnt. So how do you get more trust?
Yeah. Well, before we move into our final round here, I do want to ask for people that are interested, if they are interested in building more trust, or interested in getting the name out there, how do you help people do that? And what's the best way for them to connect with you and find out more about that?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So if you're listening right now and you go, you know what, I understand what Jay's saying a little bit. I really feel I think I need some direction on how to build a brand, especially in 2022. What I'd love to do is just learn more about you, right? As we all say, I need to know that I can actually fix the problem that you think you have. A lot of people, and I've done it, right? I need marketing. No, you need mindset. I need mindset. No, you need to pick up the phone and start dialing. No, you actually need to go to the gym and actually get your headset and mindset in check before you do that. So I think it's just making sure that we're a right fit and making sure that I can really help you. So aceofspadesagency.com, aceofspadesagency.com, or DM me at JJLive, at JAYJAYLIVE.
Love it. Well, I know we have a few minutes left here, so I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions we like to ask everybody at the end of our show. Number one, what profession other than your own do you think it would be fun to attempt?
A male escort.
Well, you are in Vegas for a couple of days, so maybe you could try it out.
Maybe I'll just do a little side gig, So and let me give context behind that. I think there's something very elusive about the secrecy that no one else knows. I think it's that, being Jason Bourne.
Right.
Walking into a place, no one even knows anything, and you're or a hitman. Imagine, legally, obviously, not killing people.
Right.
Imagine that mindset of a hitman, getting a text on your phone, Win Hotel, 10:30.
Right.
Send me a photo once it's done. Making $100,000.
Would be interesting. Hey, you could try out either of those professions if you want to. Yeah. If you could sit on a park bench with anybody, past or present, and talk to them for an hour, who would it be and why?
I like Alan Watts. Alan Watts is, you know who Alan Watts is?
Is he the performance coach?
No. Alan Watts is this philosophical genius. And he's got a video on the internet called What Would You Do If Money Was Not an Object? You can put him in the background when you're working out. You can when you're at the computer, he makes you think. And he's got a great voice. Alan Watts, AlanWatts. And he has a great philosophy on life. And he brings you back to sanity. He talks about what if money wasn't an object? What would you do? How would you really live your life? Because too many people waste time spending things they're doing to impress others they shouldn't be doing. And it just goes, you're right. Because we get lost, man. We get lost. This machine here tells us what we should be eating, what we should be doing, what we should be looking at, how many likes should we have? That's big for me to say, right? That's what I do for a living, but I get it. But I get it so I can manage it. I can control it. I'm do that, don't do that. This is why that's important. Don't do that. I want to be the wizard. So I know exactly what to do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the knowing is half the battle. If you're aware of it, you can, like you said, you can control it. You can manage it. Dude. You can leverage it instead of it leveraging you.
If you go into a magic show, you're going to be fooled and you're probably going to laugh, right? So it's knowing what's going to happen before it's going to happen. I think so many people forget that this is a game. This is a big machine and you can play it or you can let it play you.
Yeah. Absolutely. How do you like to learn best? Is it books, blogs, podcasts? What's your favorite way to consume the information?
Oh, I'll tell you what it is, and it's not books. Yeah, I like books, but I actually learn best immersive experience. So I've really tested this because it bothered me. I'm like, is it bad that I don't read books, or like I'm not because everyone says you got to read a book a day, but at the end of the day, isn't it just information? Like a book is a page of information. So what happens if you got that from an audiobook? What happens if you got that from actually watching it in person? So I'm a visual learner, but I'm a person who needs to watch do.
Yeah.
Me reading, making sense, but I want to like jump into it,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Give me a glimpse of your morning routine.
I don't wake up at 4 a.m. and sing
ice
3
bath?
hours of meditation. Yeah.
Right.
No ice bath, no bone broth, no writing 16 pages of my gratitude journal, walking barefoot on the grass because I'm trying to be present with the earth. People are laughing right now, but the problem is that people waste 4 hours in the morning and they wonder where their day goes, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen. If that works for you and if you're, slaying deals and getting stuff done, congratulations. I just know so many people that waste 4 hours in the morning with all that stuff. And at the end of the day, they could cut 90% of it and still get the same result. The reason why, PR, it feels cool. Oh, I'm reading the journal. Like it makes you feel important.
Yeah.
Right.
It sounds good in an interview. Yeah.
It sounds good. It sounds sexy to say on paper. It sounds sexy to put on a profile. I did this. Oh, wow. He's so into himself. Dude, I wake up, I have an espresso, I write out my goals just for my own purposes, right? I don't even need to write them every day because I know, but I like to write them. Just it's my thing. I have my coffee. I hit the gym. I put on my suit of power. I rock and roll. 90 minutes later, I'm trained. I'm high from caffeine and I'm ready to go. That's important to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. What is your go-to pump-up song?
Bruno Mars, Treasure's pretty good because it's like, let's go. Robin Thicke, Back Together is pretty good. Michael Jackson, Rock With You is pretty good. Yeah.
Cool.
But dude, what about some Bee Gees? I've been listening to Bee Gees lately.
I love the Bee Gees.
Dude, Bee Gees, Earth, Wind and Fire, man. Oh my God.
They're incredible. Yeah. I watched Saturday Night Fever as a goof. And I was like, disco is not dead. This is good. This is good stuff. So my wife, I don't know what her mileage is, but like I started listening obsessively to them. Yeah. I love the Bee Gees. What is something that you're not very good at?
I know exactly this answer. There's two things. So, and I'll give you context of it. I am terrible, and my team is going to cut this up and use it against me. I'm terrible at putting stuff together. Like, when Amazon comes, dude, unless it's like A plus B equals C, if there's a bolt in it, I'm out. I can't do this. Dude, I'm terrible. I'm not like, if I was on The Amazing Race, the way they would get me is they'd be like, hey, listen, we want you to build this house from sticks. I'd be like, I said I'm out. I'm off the show. Yeah, I'm terrible at. I just my brain doesn't process. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, for sure. All right, last question. Where's the number one place online people can find you? I know you mentioned a couple URLs, but what's the number one best way to contact you directly?
Instagram's really great, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a great way to showcase who you are, what you do, what you're about, what you stand for, clients you've had. It gives across your personality ASAP. And it builds an intense amount of trust. So by the time someone jumps on a phone call with me or fills out an application form, I want them to know I'm the right guy. They can trust me. I've had results for other people. Now, as I call it, we're naked together. And when I mean naked, they're at 0 and I'm at 0. They don't like, you have to prove yourself to me. They go, okay, actually, he could be the guy to help me, but I'm going to fill this out because I need to be clear that I'm the right guy for them. Yeah. So that's why I tell people, like, remember, like, people Google you. So if you Google yourself and you're not comfortable with what comes up, you should fix that. We can help you with that. But like, people have never Googled themselves before, and they'll find an old photo of them in school or in college or maybe out drinking, or, there's an old post of them or an old job. People make decisions like that. They're not for us. Why? They won't even be present to it, man. They'll be like, we're going to use the girl because she looks safe online.
No, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, and hope you enjoy your time in Vegas. And for anybody who's listening, be sure to check the link in the show notes, connect with JJ online. and see if he'd be a good fit to help you kind of improve your personal brand. But again, JJ, thanks so much for doing this.
Got you.
That's it for this episode. If you want to connect with Travis and other like-minded people who also listen to the show, then you're going to want to head over to travischappell.com/group to join his free Facebook group, Podcast to Profit. Travis will see you there. And remember to leave every relationship better than you found it.
American Express Member Week is here, and you're making every day memorable with experiences and offers to help you relax, let loose, see new sights, and taste new flavors. See what's not to be missed at americanexpress.com/memberweek.